Well, thanks a lot, Merv, but you forgot to mention that when you introduced me on New Year's Eve, I was standing on the roof of your hotel, and the wind chill factor was about 10 degrees below zero. It's about 80 degrees warmer tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm David Spatz, and it's my pleasure to be hosting this exclusive statewide broadcast of the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade. And joining me here at our Vantage Place at Resorts International Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City is someone who's going to help us through this pageant parade and pageant process, because she is no stranger to the Miss America Pageant. In 1971, she represented the state of New Jersey in the Miss America Pageant. Her name is Lynn Widener. Lynn, good to see you again.
Thank you, David. Good to be with you.
This is always the prelude to the pageant, the parade down the boardwalk. And in past years, it was on, I think, Monday night or Tuesday night, and now it's on Friday night. Does that kind of give the girls a day off and a chance to kind of regroup?
I think it does. I think it takes some of the pressure off. These young women have been through 3 nights of preliminary competition, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night, competing for the judges. And Friday night with the parade, it's a fun night, it's a relaxation night. They're not under pressure, they're not being judged. And I think it really works out perfectly the night before the big event. And of course, it's great for the school children who get to watch the parade, come down to the boardwalk, and not worry about being in school the next day.
Well, this is pretty much a local event, probably one of the only chances that the people who live in southern New Jersey, or at least in the Atlantic City area, have a chance to really get to see the contestants close up.
Yes, and that's so exciting because so many of them have program books with them, and they know the girl's name, and they say hi Mary or hi Joan, and perhaps they went to the same high school, or they know someone from her hometown, and it makes it very personal. And I must say, as a former Miss New Jersey, it's especially wonderful for Miss New Jersey to be going down the boardwalk in Atlantic City, and the cheers from the crowd, it's just overwhelming.
That was going to be my next question. What is it like to get that kind of response from your home staters?
For me, it was absolutely incredible. I was only 18 years old, I must say, and I hadn't been prepared for it. I didn't expect it. And when I started down that boardwalk and the people were cheering and calling my name, it was absolutely overwhelming. I think it was my favorite part of the pageant. It really was. As Miss New Jersey, it was my favorite part of the pageant.
Well, we're going to tap your memory source quite often this evening, because we're going to talk about the pageant process as the parade passes us by, and we'll be back to join the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade from Atlantic City right after these messages.
My resorts is really jumping, so I'm going undercover to see if the guests are as excited as I am. Now, may I ask you what you think about resorts?
Wow, there's so much to do here, Merv. I don't know where to start.
Excuse me.
Stop now, Merv. We have dinner, then there's the show.
I'd like to get your honest opinion of resorts.
My honest opinion? Merv, I wouldn't go anywhere else. You look familiar, darling. Are you new here?
The people who work to bring the press every day know why it's smart to read the press, and they'll tell you why.
From sale ads to the area's largest classified section, the press is a catalog of bargains at your fingertips.
Plus, it has all the news and information you need. The press offers so much for so little.
Whole grain cereal, skim milk, orange juice, and the press is the smart breakfast.
To subscribe for everyday home delivery, call the press. It's a smart move.
Traditionally, with the Atlantic City Police Department motorcycle escort, you're under the direction of Captain John McDonald. Always a rather impressive and noisy sight.
It also serves to get the attention of the crowd, I would say.
I would imagine. Well, if I saw a flying squad of motorcycles headed down the boardwalk, I'd certainly get out of their way.
Here's the boardwalk, under the direction of Captain John McDonald. the 177th Fighter Group New Jersey Air National Guard Honor Guard. The Guard's 16th year leading the pageant parade.
After Sergeant Skip Watson, marchers, they're based here in Pomona, New Jersey at the, I almost said NAFTA, but it's called the FATEC, the Federal Aviation Administration's Technical Center. And we've got the 28th Infantry Division Band from the Pennsylvania Army National Guard from Pennsylvania.
Altoona, by the way, David, is the home of the Miss Pennsylvania pageant. And the band is under the direction of Staff Sergeant Jeffrey Kogan.
Okay, and the Grand Marshal in this year's parade, actually substituting for the Grand Marshal in this year's parade, is the wife of the Governor of the state of Hawaii. Her name is Lynn Wahi. Her husband, Governor John Wahi, has been scheduled to be the Grand Marshal of the parade this year, and just up until a couple of days ago had every intention of coming. But with the situation in Hawaii after Hurricane Iniki, he felt he was needed back at home more than he was needed here on the boardwalk, and he sent his wife to take his place.
As you know, David, there's a real Hawaiian theme to the pageant this year in honor of Carolyn Sapp, our reigning Miss America, who hails from the state of Hawaii. And the state of Hawaii has really gotten behind this year's pageant.
Well, also, I understand that there's a very big Hawaiian production number in the pageant later on this evening.
And we have the Atlantic City Police Department Honor Guard in their second year in the Miss America Parade. It's a newly formed unit under the direction of Captain Gerald Tibbetts of the Atlantic City Police Department.
Well, coming into view right now is the host marching band for the Miss America pageant parade. Traditionally, they used to go last, and I think all the parents started complaining that they had to wait till the end of the parade to see their kids, so then they got moved up into the host spot. This is the Atlantic City High School Viking Marching Band under the direction of Joseph C. Brown, Jr.
I'm sure this is a really proud night for these kids. They're all from Atlantic City. So many of their friends and family are watching the parade along the boardwalk tonight.
It looks like the Flag Bearers are sporting new uniforms this year. If I remember correctly, last year they were wearing different uniforms, so it looks like they've got some new uniforms on. And,
I like their choice of music, David.
The Flintstones.
Viking Marching Band from Atlantic City High School.
How's it doing? Look at that sheet music. Do you suppose there's some significance to the mayor of Atlantic City following the Flintstones theme? I don't know. That's Mayor Jim Whalen and his wife, Kathy.
Mayor Whalen also appeared at the Atlantic City Welcome to the Miss America pageant. Thursday, they had a beautiful luncheon for over 800 people.
I would imagine this would be kind of like the highlight of being the mayor. I mean, for one day, or at least for a few hours, you get to have a lot of fun, ride down the boardwalk, and everybody applauds.
Now we have the Mount Hebron High School Marching Unit from Ellicott City, Maryland. And they were the winning band in last year's Miss America Parade competition. And that allows them the honor of being the honor band for this year's parade.
Well, there's a lot of honors that a band can rack up in this parade, and they certainly won some awards last year, and I now remember this band. They were excellent. I remember as they went by last year, they had people up on their feet really screaming along. So Hopefully they'll play as they come past. Or maybe we'll just see them march fancy.
Who do march very well.
Yeah, they do.
That's the Mount Hebron High School marching unit under the direction of Bob Johnston from Maryland.
So there really is a pecking order in the pageant, even in the parade. I mean, there's the host band and there is the honor band. And, I guess if you're the band at the end of the parade, you set your sights on moving up the ladder in the years.
It's certainly a big band.
I don't know. There seem to be more flag bearers and pop-up girls than there do musicians.
The Davie Police Department Honor Guard. For the past 9 years, this honor guard from Davie, Florida has been the honor guard for Miss America.
Which means, I assume, that they precede the float. That will be bringing Carol and Suzanne Sapp down the boardwalk for one last ride.
Sergeant Carl Fitzgerald directs this unit. I think if I were in a police department, I wouldn't mind being the honor guard for Davie, Florida.
Not really.
There she
is. Carol and Suzanne Sapp, Miss America 1992. Last year, like the rest of the contestants, she rode in a very nice convertible down the boardwalk, fairly anonymous. And several hours later, her life changed for the better.
And I believe this is the first year we've ever seen the Miss America float decorated with Hawaiian dancers and Hawaiian flowers. Looks absolutely beautiful. She's been a wonderful Miss America, putting on hundreds of thousands of miles across this country, representing the Children's Miracle Network, promoting her platform of education.
A lot of poise. She had an awful lot of poise.
And direct from Honolulu, the Brothers Casnell, a wonderful and talented duet that is really adding so much to our Miss America show this year. We mentioned that there is a Hawaiian element to the show this year in honor of Carol and Suzanne Sapp's background from Hawaii. And the Casnell brothers from Honolulu are a part of that show. They'll be in the production number just before the swimsuit competition.
Now, Lynn, here comes something that you're quite familiar with because you were the one who started this last year. Lynn invited back as many contestants from 1971 as she could round up. I think you had, what, 35 for your reunion?
Actually, about Saturday night we had 40. But parade night, I believe we had about 30 of them, yes. And
led by Terry Mooseman, who was Miss America 1973.
This is this year's 20th anniversary reunion. These gals all competed 20 years ago. Terry Mooseman was the winner that year. She represented Wisconsin and went on to become Miss America. And here we have, I believe, 15 contestants from the 1972 Miss America pageant. They all walked the runway last night during Thursday night's preliminary competition in Convention Hall and gave us a little update about their lives and what they're doing today. And the pageant has really fallen in love with this 20th anniversary reunion concept because you really get to see how the young women have utilized their scholarships and where they've gone with their lives, and it's really, really a special new addition to the pageant.
Let me ask you, Lynn, when you put that reunion together and you saw a lot of the girls come back from 20 years ago, had you kept in touch with any of them over the years?
Well, for the first few years, I had kept in touch with Lori Schaefer and Karen Hurd, the first runner-up from Idaho. And over the years, you do lose touch, other than the Miss America newsletter,
right,
which gives you some updated information. But it was so wonderful getting back together again. We just saw the Atlantic County Association of Insurance Agent with Atlantic City's first fire engine.
And hello, Dolly, right now. This is Carol Channing, coming to us direct from the stage at the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, where she's currently starring through next Sunday in the In Concert series. She's riding the 1993 Dodge Viper, which I believe is up for grabs over there if you're lucky enough to win it. Of course, starring in Hello, Dolly, and I'm Your Girlfriend's Friend, and so many other Broadway shows.
I think she's having a good time.
That was a lot of fun. She really is. She's just a very energetic, very spirited performer.
And we are going to be joined now by the Ventnor String Band. And of course, they hail from Ventnor, New Jersey, making their first appearance in the parade in 6 years under the direction of Mr. and Mrs. Burns. The Ventnor String Band.
This is for everybody who thought they only hauled the string bands out on New Year's Day. For the Mummers Parade up in Philadelphia, we do have the string band here at the Jersey Shore. In fact, I believe over the past few years, the Ventnor String Band has placed, I think, in the top 3 in their respective categories up in Philadelphia. Well, okay, I've guessed that their theme is something patriotic because I've never seen that much red, white, and blue in one little area in my life.
And the South Jersey audience is always responding to the string band.
I think we all have a little bit of South Philly in us.
Yep. And we welcome our first contestant, and of course we're beginning with the A's, and Miss Alabama, Kim Wimmer from Mobile.
Kim enjoys people watching. It's one of her hobbies since she was sitting. She's going to have a good time people watching down the boardwalk tonight. She was a hostess for Birmingham Southern College's Gala 10, honoring prominent women in America, and one of the women they honored was Marilyn Quayle.
She's 21 years old and a senior at Southern College. And here we have Miss Alaska, Kelly Baumgartner from Eagle River.
A certified scuba diver. Kelly once spent an entire summer not scuba diving, unfortunately. She was in the hospital recovering from a near-fatal car accident, which she said certainly changed her life.
Kelly's in royal blue velvet this evening with some fur trim. And now we have Miss Arizona Robin Rayborn from Mesa, 26 years old.
No stranger to national television. She's sung the national anthem of the Chicago Cubs and St. Louis Kings on national television. And she's in the process of writing her first book about her experiences not only as a Miss Arizona title holder, but as a product of a single-parent family.
And Miss Arkansas, Shannon Boyd from Alma, is a first-year law student at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, 21 years old, wearing deep Kelly green tonight.
She's dedicated her participation in the pageant to her very best friend, who unfortunately died several weeks ago, and she's trying to win the crown for her friend. Now we've got Patricia Ann Northrup, Miss California.
She's in a white tuxedo jacket with tails, something a little different and special. And Patricia's 23 years old.
Look at those shoes. Wait, she has airplanes on her shoes, which stands to reason because she's a private pilot. She has her private pilot's license, and also directed the set construction and integration of the engineering systems of the mini set that she'll use during her talent presentation.
She's an aeronautical engineer.
200 hours of flight time, which is rather impressive. Divide that by 24, and she's probably stayed up in the air for 10 straight days.
Now this is definitely not a contestant.
Now this is King Neptune, I believe.
I don't know, he's showing everyone his shoes.
Does that mean you're a contestant and you're just for your shoes?
A contestant wannabe.
Well, on our description sheet here it just says King Neptune guess who, and I'm not even going to try and guess.
He's definitely a pageant person.
So let me ask you a question. You participated in the pageant in 1971. All of a sudden you found yourself standing out there on the runway of the convention center with a television camera in your face and 50 million people watching you at home. What does that do for you as a not only as a performer, but as a person?
It makes you very nervous, David, especially when you're only 18 years old. I think the most exciting moment for me was when I first arrived and was at my first rehearsal and Bert Clark showed up.
Really?
Yes, when he first stepped out on the stage, I said, this is really the Miss America pageant.
But up till then it had been like not real.
I don't think so. I don't think it really had completely hit me, the reality of it. It was seemed like a fantasy world, that's for sure.
The pageant, of course, later on tonight will pay tribute to Bert Clark. They have a 30-second montage of, I guess they could call it Bert's greatest hits and misses over the years, or hits with misses. Bert unfortunately passed away last February, but he was such an integral part of the pageant for so many years that they felt they needed to say goodbye to him in a proper way.
We had seen Bugs Bunny, by the way, who came to us from Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, and now we are seeing the Bangor Slater Marching Band from Bangor, Pennsylvania. 65 members and 35 band front members. And they are back with us in the Miss America Parade. They haven't been here since 1988. Welcome back.
Hawaii, the melting pot of the Pacific, but you never quite think Colorado is a melting pot. This is Stacey Rose, Miss Colorado. We'll talk about a diverse ethnic background. She is part Native American Indian, part Irish, part African American, and part Flemish.
Good combination, obviously, from Colorado, Parker, Colorado. She's 22 years old and a graduate student at the University of Denver who played the violin in the talent competition.
Showing us her cowboy boots and her Mickey Mouse ears.
That's diverse.
She's showing her shoes.
We have Miss Connecticut now. And Miss Connecticut is Valerie Abate from North Haven, Connecticut, 22 years old. From the University of Connecticut, a 1992 graduate.
Her talent is classical vocal. She's performing Carnival at Venice later on in the pageant, and she can sing in 7 languages.
Now we are saying hello to Miss Delaware, Kathleen Ann Slavin from Lewis, Delaware, 25 years old, a graduate student at Wilmington College.
Must come from a very athletic family because she says she enjoys working off the excess calories with her 82-year-old grandmother.
That must be some grandmother. Miss Florida, Leanza Cornett is from Jacksonville. She is 21 years old and is enrolled at Rollins College in Winter Park, completing her degree in communication.
She was here at the 1991 pageant. She met Jeffrey Zahn, the Navy lieutenant who was shot down during the Gulf War. And after they met, they became friends and they kept in touch. They've been corresponding regularly. Jeffrey Zahn, the first POW of the Gulf War. And she's also performed for and met Michael Jackson, Steven Spielberg, Dandy Dan Marino, and Magic Johnson, and recently had the privilege of dancing with Bob Hope.
Don't you love that canary yellow?
That is the most yellow. I've never seen yellow right vivid before.
And here comes Stephanie Michaels, Miss Georgia. She's 24 years old and a graduate of New York University in Marketing and Fine Arts.
works as an administrative assistant for singer Michael Bolton. She was also the backstage press assistant for the Tony Awards in New York last year.
I love the baseball cap. It's a wonderful addition to the off-white satin gown.
Right, and I'm sure she's showing us her shoes. Yeah, all right, but now's the time. We might as well explain what it's all about. Where did Show Us Your Shoes come from?
Well, David, I can't pretend to be an expert on this subject, but I do know that 21 years ago when I was in this parade, Show Us Your Shoes only took place at New York Avenue. It was a very small group who started it there, and they were the ones who always said, show us your shoes. And it seems to have evolved into this pageant tradition. Well, it takes place all up and down the boardwalk.
It used to be just New York Avenue, which we can mention, it's no secret, is the gay district in Atlantic City. And a lot of the gay men would gather on the boardwalk. They loved the pageant. They loved to see what the girls were wearing, but they also wanted to see their shoes. And now the women ride down the boardwalk, usually carry a spare pair of the goofiest shoes they can find.
It's a part of pageant history.
I know there was a time ago the pageant was upset by them. They were hoping to kind of discourage that. That didn't work.
We do want to mention this fabulous Good Times float from the Showboat Casino Hotel.
Isn't she from your class? This 1972 Miss Delaware, Kathy Rowley, and that's the class ahead of you.
That was actually the class right after me. She's part of the reunion this year. Kathy Rotten, former Miss Delaware on the Showboat float, followed by Troop 254 of the Boy Scouts of America from Mays Landing, New Jersey, under the leadership of Donald Baconic, the Scoutmaster. And now, we welcome from WMGM TV 40, our own three wonderful newscasters who do so much for the pageant during Miss America Week.
See who we've got Jeff Whitaker, who anchors Jeff Whitaker and Lisa Mishler. They both anchor the 6 o'clock news, and I believe that's sports director Joe Basikia.
I have to tell you, David, that I brought my Cub Scout troop to Channel 40 last year, and these three folks were so wonderful to them, signing autographs, showing how to use the equipment. It's really great having our own local TV station here in the Atlantic City area.
Well, I had the pleasure of working with Jeff Whitaker and several of his colleagues from the 1992 Lunchtime Telethon this year, and we had a great time. We had a good time working with them. They're total professionals, and give us the news every day at 6 and 11.
And they're carrying the Miss America pageant as well. Let's get back to Show Us Your Shoes.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. More Show Us Your Shoes.
You know, as this Show Us Your Shoes has grown and just become part of pageant history, what you find now is that the girls do prepare, they think about it in advance, they bring a special pair of shoes with them, and it's just another little relaxation, fun thing to occupy their minds as opposed to competition.
Well, there's a break in the parade right now, Lynn, so we're going to take a break so we can pay the bills. You're watching the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade from Atlantic City, New Jersey, and we'll be back right after this.
Over 180,000 area readers know why it's smart to read the press, and they'll tell you why.
I teach social studies to 6th graders. I found that using articles from the press can stimulate my students to think about current events and the purpose of studying history. The press is brain food. To stay fit in the 90s, exercise your body and feed your brain daily. Read the press.
To subscribe for everyday home delivery, call the press. It's a smart move.
My resorts is really jumping, so I'm going undercover to see if the guests are as excited as I am. Now, may I ask you what you think about resorts?
Well, there's so much to do here, Merv. I don't know where to start.
Excuse me.
Stop now, Merv. We have dinner, then there's a show.
I'd like to get your honest opinion of resorts.
My honest opinion? Merv, I wouldn't go anywhere else. You look familiar, darling. Are you new here?
From WMGM 103.7 on your FM dial.
All right, you know who they are? They call themselves the Dude and the Dudists.
Is that the
That's the Dude and the
Dude?
Dudists, and you know what?
I love that.
It's okay, we can tell their names. Steve Ross and Helene Massino.
Hi, dude. Hi, Judas.
It's also Al Horner up there who's doing the talking.
And coming along the boardwalk now from Nutley High School, the Raider Marching Band under the direction of Peter D'Angelo, making their first appearance in the pageant parade, 75 members strong. And very successful in band competition across the country.
I remember marching in this parade in 1964 or 5.
In the band?
In a Wildwood High School marching band. We had a chance to march in the parade, and I remember that the parade didn't start that night, I think, until like 7 or 8 o'clock. So it was dark already, and we had to memorize the music. I remember how difficult it was to try and memorize all the music for the parade in the space of 2 or 3 days. But we did it, and it was hot. I remember it being ungodly hot, and they had us in wool uniforms.
All those band uniforms usually look great.
Well, I think since the invention of, the government, things have gotten a little cooler.
Well, that's one of the unpredictable aspects of any parade, of course, is the weather. And the contestants actually come prepared for either very warm or very cool weather. You notice many of them have the rack. And the gallery field team.
We can mention that they probably won't need their wraps tonight because the temperature is about 74, 75 degrees. In fact, it's quite humid up on the boardwalk. There'll be a lot of bad hair nights by the end of this evening for the contestants.
Well, we're getting ready to see the Galway Township drill team making its first appearance in the parade, 60 members strong. But you know, that's another thing the girls are prepared for. They have the racks in case it's cold, but they also have their hair prepared for the weather usually.
So they won't have a bad hair day then.
Yes, you'll notice a lot of hats or hair pieces, hair pulled back very tightly to try and deal with the elements really.
For the last few years, in fact, I can't remember the last time it really rained very badly on the parade. There have been times when it drizzled a little bit, but for the most part, for the past 10 years or more, the weather has been beautiful. It's again, it's a little bit humid, but it's a beautiful night for a parade here on the Atlantic City Boardwalk.
Well, it's certainly, with this humidity, it'd be interesting to see what these young ladies do with their hair, from my point of view.
So we get to see them rather early on in the line of march. The parade begins at Delaware Avenue. We're here at North Carolina Avenue. If you have a Monopoly board, I don't think you'll find Delaware on the Monopoly set. However, we're only about 5 blocks away from the beginning of the parade here at Merv Griffin's Resorts. We're sitting on a balcony about 2 flights above the boardwalk, so we probably have the best view down the line of march.
And we have the best view right now of Miss Hawaii, Pamela Kimura of Honolulu, a 1991 graduate of the University of Hawaii, majoring in communications.
Since for more than 2 years, she provided housekeeping service for an elderly Chinese couple in exchange for rent. I assume it was kind of a student reciprocal visit program. It says her family never celebrates Thanksgiving at home, but instead they prepare a big turkey dinner every year at her mother's tavern for the homeless and her extended family and other needy people.
And you notice the fresh orchids from Hawaii in the car with her.
Yeah, she was saying earlier in the week she was having trouble getting in touch with some relatives on the island of Kauai. Apparently, she did make contact with them and found out that they were safe.
Miss Idaho, Stephanie Ann Smith, 26 years old, from Boise, Idaho, a graduate of the Boise State University.
Oh, no, that's a cute sign. It says, I spell potato, P-O-S-P-U-D. Are you listening, Dan Quayle?
This sign will definitely get this young lady some press coverage tonight.
Yeah. So she was an artist for a movie star's daughter's wedding, but we don't know who the movie star was. She's leaving us in suspense. And she wears the cowboy boots.
Coming up the boardwalk now is Miss Illinois Kathleen Farrell of Chicago, 23 years old, the Northwestern University Graduate School of Music.
Made her symphony debut at the age of 14 at the Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra. She is a classical pianist. She She'll be playing Cadenza number 5 by Ginastera.
And obviously a Chicago Bulls fan.
Her mother and father escaped communism in their native Czechoslovakia, and her father gave up a career as a classical violinist to play baseball.
Now, David, here's a good example of what you do in humidity when you don't want bad hair. She is wearing a turban. And now we have Miss Indiana Shelley Renee Yoder, who was a preliminary swimsuit winner, a tied preliminary swimsuit winner on the first night competition. She is from Shipshewana, Indiana. And
better you to pronounce that.
a master's student at Northwestern University, and also wearing a hat.
Enjoys mushroom hunting, riding roller coasters, following the Chicago crowd, eating Amish peanut butter, and says she's an avid queen. I don't exactly know what that means, but I can only assume it's she likes going to flea markets.
That sounds good.
Now another preliminary winner in both, get this, talent and swimsuit. She tied with Miss Indiana, this is Miss Iowa, Catherine Ann Lenkow.
Catherine is 24. She's from Muscatine, Iowa, and a graduate of the University of Iowa. We see a Kelly Green hat on Miss Iowa, and was a double preliminary winner.
Now that would have to put her, kind of in the front running for the crown, wouldn't it, Lynn? The fact that she won preliminaries on 2 nights.
Well, it certainly puts her up there, but it is not a guarantee of the crown. We've had numerous double preliminary winners who did not win the crown, as well as double preliminary winners who have won the crown. So we certainly expect to see her on the stage Saturday night, but whether she wins the crown or not remains to be seen.
What Lynn is saying is if you're handicapping the pageant, you can take the points, but just remember that just winning a couple of preliminaries does not make a candidate a shoo-in for the crown.
And we now see the Cape Atlantic Detachment Marine Corps League. This wonderful color guard is under the direction of Edward Krause, the commander, and they hail from nearby Absecon, New Jersey. Notice the last few contestants have hats on. You'll see quite a few with headpieces, different methods of holding their hair in place. Capes, coats, jackets in case the weather turns cold.
I think we have one of those what we call last-minute entries here. This is not on our sheet. It's not on sheet number 1. Let's see if it's on sheet number 2. Now, so we'll wing this one. This is the Midtown Business Citizens Association. And again, preserving the Atlantic City theme, the Hawaii theme.
Hawaii has really come to Atlantic City for this year's Miss America pageant. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Obviously, this is the brainchild of John Schultz, who's right now running for County Freeholder, so we can say this there might be a political bit to this entry, but it's still a line right now.
I've heard it mentioned that in years to come they may want the home state of the reigning Miss America to participate in the Miss America pageant, perhaps contribute to the theme. I don't know if they'll all be as glamorous and exciting as a Hawaiian theme.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're from North Dakota, not to denigrate North Dakota, but when you're from North Dakota and you don't have floral lays and things exotic like they...
You're going to get letters from North Dakota if somebody hears about it.
If someone who's watching on CTN or Channel 2 is from North Dakota, we mean you no harm.
It's nice to see the home state of Miss America take an interest in the pageant, though, and show their pride in their Miss America.
Well, like we said, up until actually just yesterday, the governor of the state of Hawaii had every intention of being here all week, but then Hurricane Niki took care of that.
This is the Variety Club of Philadelphia, Tech 13, under the direction of Jerry Savoy. The children's charity presents Kids on Parade.
Variety Club every year, of course, has a big telethon in February, originated in Philadelphia. Although I hear this year they're not going to have a telethon per se, but they're going to have a 3-hour giant TV fundraiser originating right here at Merv Griffin's Resorts.
Right where we're originating.
Where we're originating from. Only I bet you that one's not going to be out on the balcony because it's going to be in February.
Only you would be on the balcony in February.
No, I'm on the roof in January. That's where they send me.
WUSS AM 1490 radio station Jams. Another one of our great local radio stations, enjoying their participation in the Miss America Parade tonight.
I'm guessing, I believe that's Vivian Roundtree, who is one of the most popular people on WUSS. Occasionally controversial, speaks your mind, but that's fine.
Is this the Hobo Band? Yep, it's the original Hobo Band. They've had too many performances to mention. I think I've seen them in just about every parade I've ever been to.
The Hobo Band are all over the place. They're like very entertaining, and they're actually musicians too. Don't judge them by their costumes. Get together Monday to arrangements and not next up, the City of Ocean City's float. The City of Ocean City has traditionally had one of the most inventive and innovative and unique public relations directors in all of the public relations world. His name is Mark Seifert. And
the creator of the Hermit Crab races.
Mark C. Malik, Hermit Crab Pageant and everything. He's been doing that for 15 years.
And of course Ocean City is such a wonderful family resort just to the south of us, and it's good to see them back in the pageant once again. And it's contestant time once again as we come to last night's talent preliminary winner, Miss Kansas, Pam McKelvey from Kansas City, 24 years old, a graduate of Grambling State University. And she certainly brought the house down last night with her rendition of I Am Changing from Dream Girl.
She's a first-generation college graduate of her family. She loves stones and maps and places she's visited. She enjoys writing, reading, singing, fishing, listening to jazz and reggae music.
Miss Kentucky was the preliminary swimsuit winner last night, and she's out there in her cowboy hat tonight, which is appropriate in a sense to be dressed in that sort of western wear look because she is a clogger, and presented a rousing southern-style clogging routine for her talent. She's from Kemper, Kentucky. Her name is Tanya Mullins. She's 25 years old and a graduate student at Radford University.
And clogging, dancing, actually, was kind of an accident for her because she had an accident and broke both of her feet, and she took to dancing literally as a form of rehabilitation.
And here we have Miss Louisiana, Elizabeth Haynes from Baton Rouge, 24 years old and a graduate student in piano at Louisiana State University.
Now, talk about playing the piano by ear. This young lady wrote an arrangement to Liberace's El Cumbachero and Comania by ear. She didn't copy it from anything, she did it by ear, and it won her the Miss Louisiana Preliminary Talent Award.
And she's carrying with her tonight a Mardi Gras mask of beads and white feathers.
And when she returns home to Baton Rouge, she'll find that her home was only slightly damaged by Hurricane Andrew.
Oh, goodness. Miss Maine, Christina Jane Lasso, is from Augusta. She's 23 years old and a senior at the University of Southern Maine,
where she is a resident assistant, has conducted workshops on AIDS awareness and on date rape. Her hobbies are singing, dancing, aerobics, body sculpting, and she has a lot of computer pen pals.
And she seems to be showing her shoes. It looks like she has a cast on her leg. Could that be? Or is that just her fancy shoe?
I think that might be a fancy shoe. Otherwise, we've all missed one heck of a scoop this week.
Now let's just hope it's a fancy shoe.
I think it's a
sock.
It's a sock.
You know what it is? It's a lobster sock. Miss Maine
lobster?
has a lobster on her sock. And here comes Miss Maryland. I wonder if she has a crab on her sock. Tammy Wyatt is 26 years old from Clinton, Maryland. And she is a postgraduate student in accounting at the University of Maryland.
And talk about fantasies come true. She's been on stage with three of her favorite performers, Engelbert Humphrey, Mikhail Baryshnikov, and David Copperfield. Also something to note, her great uncle designed the Cadillac emblem way back in 1932.
The Great Valley High School Pageant marching band from Malvern, Pennsylvania, under the direction of Dick Sutcliffe. This is their 4th year of competition in the Miss America Parade, placing 3rd in 1990. Colonial motif. Those costumes look brand new, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I think some of the schools have broken out the budget this week. You know, a lot of schools introduce the uniforms during this parade, a lot of new songs, new jump majors and jump majorettes.
65 members in the Great Valley High School Patriot Marching Band.
What goes on tonight after the parade is over? Now they're all finished with the preliminaries. They're all done rehearsing for the production numbers tomorrow night. What do they do after the parade?
I would hope they get some rest, David. I can't tell you for sure because it's been 21 years since I've been in the parade, and I'm sure some things have changed. But hopefully they'll get some rest. They have a very big day tomorrow. From the Atlanta County Utilities Authority, one of our community floats in the parade for the 2nd year.
Did you get your recycle cans yet?
Yes, I did.
We got ours today. We were talking recycling.
Oh, this is adorable.
For those of you throughout the state who don't know what we're talking about, Atlanta County, a very controversial move, distributed recycling buckets to every household in the county.
And they're even featuring Hawaii.
Hawaii, look at this.
It's a continuing theme.
Do you think this coast Hawaii's trying to steal the pageant away from us?
Not a chance. Here come the Boy Scout Troop 43 and Cub Scout Pack 43 from Mullica Township. Actually from Elwood, New Jersey. Mullica Township Boy Scout Troop 43. Followed by the Tuner Hill Trolley, presented by Greenfield Associates. It was originally part of the Ringling Brothers Circus. What is Tunerville? That sounds very familiar, David.
Tunerville. I don't know. Well, wait.
Who killed Roger Rabbit?
Who killed Roger Rabbit? Who framed Roger Rabbit? Who framed Roger
Who framed Roger? Goodness, they didn't call
I
it,
think that was Toonville. I'm not sure.
Toontown. Toontown, not Tunerville.
Okay, it's back to the state representatives. We have Lisa Gale Gozloch, Miss Massachusetts.
Lisa's 21 years old from Taunton, Massachusetts, and a graduate of Wheaton College.
And better than that, Lynn, she's a certified, a certified bungee jumper. She got certified in New Zealand. She was snorkeled with reef sharks off the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
And we have Miss Michigan, Terry Sue Riper from Monroe, a graduate of the Eastern Michigan University.
And a survivor of Atkins disease, a form of cancer, was treated last year, diagnosed last June with Atkins disease, and won her title just after completing radiation therapy.
Miss Minnesota, Joe Bender from Rochester, 23 years old, and a graduate student at Monona State University.
And certainly no stranger to our TV cameras because she's the weather anchor for KTTC TV, the NBC affiliate in Rochester, Minnesota. Under other factors, says she sold $3,000 worth of perfume to a Saudi Arabian prince. Okay.
Miss Mississippi and Kelly Green, that's Candace Williams from Tupelo, home of Elvis Presley, was it not?
Yeah, well, she claims to be related to Kenny Rogers, so she's related to Julius Caesar, had a partial kidney removal when she was 15 years old, and also says she has a unique body chemistry that makes her a human magnet.
Miss Missouri, Stephanie Patterson from Kansas City, Missouri, is 23 years old and attends the University of Missouri
School of Law.
Hobbies include tennis, swimming, snow skiing, equestrian training, and showing, and dressage and hunt seeking. And on that note, we'll take a break. The 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade continues from Atlantic City right after this. Boyer's Market and Sub and Grill at 1338 Asbury Avenue in Ocean City is a complete food store and takeout sub shop and grill all under one roof. Boyer's Market has been family owned for 68 years and features fresh meat and deli, fresh produce, and great party trays. Sub and Grill features barbecue ribs and chicken, hot and cold subs, burgers, and chicken cheesesteaks. Sub and Grill has free delivery, 398-5466. Boyer's Market and Sub and Grill, Ocean City.
Many expensive restaurants use the term ambiance as if it meant high-priced. Ambiance means atmosphere, and comfortable surroundings need not be costly, especially at the Country Squire Restaurant, Diner, and Cocktail Lounge at the Cardiff Circle. Baking on the premises, daily lunch and dinner specials, your favorite beverages at all times, and quality food in the most pleasant of surroundings at down-to-earth prices. Inexpensive ambiance at the Country Squire Restaurant, Diner, and Cocktail Lounge, open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. on the Cardiff Circle in Cardiff.
The Bald Eagle Area High School Marching Band, David, from Wingate, Pennsylvania.
Take this opportunity to remind everybody that you're watching the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade. We're coming to you from Merv Griffin's Resorts Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. I'm David Spatz, joining me at Miss New Jersey 1971, Lynn Hackerman Widener. That'll get the maiden name in there so that everybody remembers.
And so that when they go back to their program book from the 1972 Miss America pageant, they can find that, right?
Well, I'm sure that there are people who have program books that go back for as long as they made program books. The pageant has a lot of fans.
Pack 27 from Ventnor, New Jersey. Members. Proud to be Colombian. This is an original float designed by Luis Correa and built by the members of the Holy Spirit Church right here in Atlantic City, celebrating the anniversary of Christopher Columbus' discovery of America.
I imagine we're going to be seeing more of that as the parade unfolds. The 500th anniversary coming up, of course, next month. And Columbus Day weekend has become a very big weekend here in Atlantic City.
Proud to be Colombian.
Land of its love. We'll take a break and be back with more of the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade right after this.
Knight's Pharmacy at the corner of 8th and Wesley Avenues has been serving the Ocean City area for over 85 years. Knight's has all your pharmaceutical and medical needs, as well as greeting cards, sundries, cosmetics, designer colognes, film, and much more. Knight's Pharmacy also has over 2,000 videos for rent, most at 99 cents per day. Knight's also offers free delivery, free parking, personal service, and friendly advice. All major insurance cards accepted. Knight's Pharmacy, 8th and Wesley Avenue, Ocean City. Call 399-5555.
Come to Sack of Subs at 5219 Ventnor Avenue in Ventnor, where you'll find subs, steak subs, cheese steaks, mushroom steaks, meatball subs, sausage subs, an assortment of Italian subs, and much more. Call ahead for takeouts at 823-2552. Let Sack of Subs liven up your next party with a sub-style party tray. Sack of Subs, 5219 Ventnor Avenue in Ventnor, 823-2552.
Statewide television coverage of the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade. We're coming to you from Merv Griffin's Resorts Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Hello again, everybody. I'm David Spatz. With me, Lynn Widener, and the parade seems to be about halfway over right now. It's flying by. I haven't seen a parade run this smoothly in years, Lynn.
That's the truth. They're really moving down this boardwalk tonight. And moving along right now is the American Stars drill team from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. 50 young people with their batons, flags, pom-poms, and rifles.
Yeah, this parade is it really is a big deal for a lot of the kids who participate in it. It's kind of like the end of summer and the beginning of the school year, and it's kind of one last chance to let their hair down and have a good time before they get back to the school year.
Well, it really is nice that it's on Friday night now, and so many of the children can attend. They don't have to worry about school tomorrow.
A lot of kids used to kind of ditch school, and the parade was on Tuesday. You kind of ditched school on Wednesday, and I think the teachers were a little bit forgiving about it.
It's a very important part of the greater Atlantic City area. We have the Washington Township Police Explorer Post 323. Color guard with 15 participants. And they are bringing us to Miss Montana, Joanne Kayleen Jorgensen from Helena, Montana. Plans to attend Montana State University in the fall, where she will be a junior.
And while her family was building their home up on a mountain, they lived in a wall tent for 5 months, weathering cold mornings, bears outside the tent, and Thanksgiving dinner direct from their Weber grill. She must like the cold weather because she hiked the glacier in Alaska.
And tonight she's dressed like a cowgirl in her fringed cocktail dress and her cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and it appears that she's carrying a teddy bear.
No one said anything about show us your teddy bear.
This could start a new tradition, David. She is 24 years old, 5'7".
Officially becoming a sports psychologist and wants to work with a top college or Olympic team.
Now, Miss Nebraska, will you please say her name for us all, David?
Natalie Jean Kujenhofen. And if I didn't get it right, I'm sorry, but I gave it my best shot. It says Kujenhofen translates as beautiful garden. Her father's family comes from Europe. 2 of her cousins, in fact, are coming to the United States for the very first time to watch her in the Miss America pageant.
Oh, that's exciting. She's from Lincoln, Nebraska. She's 21 years old and a senior at the University of Nebraska. And here comes Miss Nevada, Sandra Dornack from Las Vegas. And she is 25 years old and a junior theater major at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and did a ventriloquist routine.
One of the most difficult talents, in all of talentum, is definitely ventriloquism. She designed the Granny and Gramps characters that work with her. I don't want to say dummies, but they're dummies. The puppets that work with her.
They won't care.
They won't care. That's true.
And quite a job she did. You can't even say ventriloquist. Can you imagine trying to say it with your mouth
But
closed?
she sings supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and does it without moving her lips, and I can't even do it without a cue card.
We have Miss New Hampshire, Rachel Alice Petz from Sanbornton, New Hampshire. And she is a graduate of Plymouth State College, 23 years old.
Selected New Hampshire's most unforgettable woman in 1990. She enjoys performing in musicals and operas. She likes motivational speaking, creating nutritional cuisine, photographing nature, and hiking in the White Mountains with her golden retriever.
David, it's Miss New Jersey.
Yeah, you can tell because the applause starts to build.
The applause is building for Heather Hurtling from Randolph, New Jersey, a preliminary talent winner on the first night of competition. Heather is an opera singer who brought the house down on Wednesday night.
She's traveled to over 30 countries. Classical vocalist, she sang the Verdi's Ernani in Volani, and that's what won her the preliminary talent award. She performed for the late Leonard Bernstein at his 70th birthday celebration at the Hampton Music Festival, and this past July was awarded an associate fellowship with Jerome Hines' prestigious Young Performers Program.
And she is certainly a popular entry here tonight in Atlantic City. Miss New Mexico is from Albuquerque, 23 years old, a senior at Eastern New Mexico University.
She's a member of she called herself a member of the family of the 90s. She's traveled extensively as part of the military life. Her adoptive father is a member of the Special Forces Association and a former member of the prestigious and elite Delta Force. Her father's genealogy stems from the country of Iran. Her grandfather was a journalist and a member of the Iranian government, and her grandmother continues to reside in Tehran.
This is Lady Luck from the Sands, David. It's not a contestant. The Sands Hotel and Casino has sent us Lady Luck.
Well, hopefully she'll bring luck to one of these contestants. And we're going to take a break and be back with more coverage of the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade right after this.
Over 180,000 area readers know why it's smart to read the press, and they'll tell you why.
I teach social studies to sixth graders. I found that using articles from the press can stimulate my students to think about current events and the purpose of studying history.
The press is brain food. To stay fit in the 90s, exercise your body and feed your brain daily. Read the press.
To subscribe for everyday home delivery, call the press. It's a smart move.
My resorts is really jumping, so I'm going undercover to see if the guests are as excited as I am. Now, may I ask you what you think about resorts?
Wow, there's so much to do here, Merv. I don't know where to start.
Excuse me.
Stop now, Merv. We have dinner, then there's a show.
I'd like to get your honest opinion of resorts.
My honest opinion? Merv, I wouldn't go anywhere else. You look familiar, darling. Are you new here?
You got to come out to resorts.
And welcome back to coverage of the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade. We're coming to you from Merv Griffin's Resorts Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. I'm David Spatz along with Lynn Widener, and the parade is moving briskly down the boardwalk.
This is the Azure Temple, number 38, and Azure Court, the Shriners and Daughter of Isis. They have been involved with the pageant for the past few years.
I'm curious, when the contestants all come to town and get together for the first time, they have to go into the convention hall and learn several production numbers that they're going to perform on the show later on tonight. Now, I know you come from a dance background, but take some of these young ladies who are ventriloquists or musicians who have never had any dance training. Is it difficult? Is it intimidating for them to get up there and have to learn how to do all these moves and learn it quickly before 50 million people are watching them?
Well, if you notice, not all the contestants really have to move quite that much. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take that into consideration and pre-plan the girls that are dancers who will be competing as dancers, maybe to have to do some of the more difficult things, but really they aren't required to do anything that terribly difficult as part of the show, and they do get plenty of rehearsal time now that the pageant is bringing them in a week ahead of time.
That's right. They used to come in the Monday before the pageant, and the Sunday and Monday, and then the pageant would begin Tuesday with the parade and the preliminaries for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then the crowning on Sunday.
And now they're here almost 2 weeks before the crowning. So they have plenty of time to prepare.
Which is good because the community gets a chance to see them before they're under the total microscope of the media, and there is media from all over the country that descends upon Atlantic City for this event.
Well, I think the girls think it's fun, in all honesty. I think the contestants enjoy that aspect of the pageant. As we welcome Miss New York.
Now, I think this is a representative of Cellular One.
Miss Cellular One, my goodness.
Yeah, I think they're the official cellular phone company of the pageant, because they need a lot of cellular phones to keep in communication. There are so many hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. What she's wearing? She's wearing swim fins.
I think my husband would nominate me as Miss Cellular One.
Big bill, huh, Lynn?
Big bills.
Big bills.
You're right, though. The pageant people really do make use of those cellular phones this week. The Durning String Band, another great mummer strutting entry from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
This is authentic mummerdom. They're from a mummer's band. They're from Philadelphia. It doesn't get any more mummer than that. Now, I'm sure they'd stay nice and warm on New Year's Day in those outfits, but I don't know. They must be awful hot tonight.
Don't you often think that people moving to the Philadelphia area for the first time say, what's a mummer?
And then they see it on New Year's Day and they vow never again to drink on New Year's Eve. A little taste of January 1st here in September.
The Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 228 of South Jersey. This is their third year in the Miss America Parade. And this year, the Vietnam veterans salute the nurses. Isn't that wonderful? The nurses who served in Vietnam are being saluted today by the veterans who served in Vietnam, all from the South Jersey area.
Back to our contestants. This is Miss New York, Ingrid K. Olsen. She'll probably get the second biggest.
No, this is Miss New Mexico, actually. This is Miss New Mexico, Cherie Ilsa Cheney. She's 23 years old from Eastern New Mexico University, where she is a senior.
I stand corrected. That's what happens when a gust of wind gets into your notes.
Well, now
can I do Miss New York now?
Yes,
Okay, this is Ingrid K. Olsen. I already said that. Ingrid K. Olsen. She is a graduate of Ithaca College with a degree in vocal music and piano. Will begin her master's degree studies this month, unless, of course, she is crowned Miss America, in which case that'll wait a year. She feels personally fulfilled when she works with physically and mentally challenged people, and she attributes this to having a sister who died as an infant after suffering from Down syndrome.
22 years old from Port Jefferson. And we welcome Miss North Carolina, Heidi Williams from Wade, North Carolina. She is 23 years old and a graduate with a Bachelor of Music from Meredith College.
It says after the Desert Storm, she toured 4th Drive Army Base. She flew in a military flight simulator and jumped from a 34-foot jump tower.
And what has she got on her hand?
A Puppet? Let me see. What is her talent? So, well,
No, she's a singer.
a singer. Well, actually, that's something with a little crown on it, so...
Oh, okay. We now welcome Miss North Dakota, Stephanie Jean Fisher from Larimore, North Dakota, 24 years old, and a graduate of Concordia College.
She collects John Denver memorabilia. I'm sure she's in a minority there, but she collects John Denver memorabilia anyway.
And I'd say with that long black velvet gown with black headpiece, she might be a little warm tonight.
She's also the founder and manager of Stephanie Fisher Productions, so she is a businesswoman in addition to being a performer.
Miss Ohio, Robin Mead from Wakeman, Ohio, 23 years old. And she is a senior at Ashland University in radio and television as well as political science.
We'll talk about having a big family. Her father comes from a family of 14 brothers and sisters, and her mother from a family of 9. So try memorizing the uncles and aunts in that family. Sure, she has an ambition to become a concerned yet objective journalist, or what she calls a truth teller. As we wish they would all do, as I like to think I am.
That was Miss Ohio. And now we welcome the 2nd Marine Division Band from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, with their magnificent precision marching under the direction of Staff Sergeant Lamar McGee. It's great to see these military units, especially coming from far away.
What was great about last year's parade is that we were fresh off of the success of Operation Desert Storm, and I won't step on the band to let that take us. Starting off the season 2-0, facing the Denver Broncos this Sunday in a battle of 2 unbeaten teams. I still got to talk about that band from Camp Lejeune. I don't think there's anything that really gets a crowd going better than a big marching band playing a military march.
And the Holly Shores Girl Scout Council is also enjoying the music under the direction of Janice Smith, celebrating the 80th birthday of Girl Scouting. Can I ask if you were a Girl Scout? Do you remember?
I was a Boy Scout. I was a Cub Scout. A Boy Scout wasn't a Girl Scout.
I was a Brownie. And a Cub Scout leader. And now we welcome Miss Oklahoma Desharnay Carter from Oklahoma City. She's 21 years old and a senior at the Oklahoma City University, majoring in mass communications and vocal music.
The first contestant to actually admit that one of her hobbies is nerve shopping. She also collects Kennedy memorabilia. A state champion in power tumbling. I haven't seen power tumbling yet. I can't imagine that as a big sport, but she's got a silver and bronze medal in the World Acro Games, so it's got to count for something.
Miss Oregon is Sarah Christy Carlson from Portland. She's 21 years old and is a senior at the Portland Bible College.
Produced a theatrical fundraiser for an area food bank in the Chernobyl children. She sung in concerts in Romania during the Second Revolution and toured the college music groups to Great Britain, Romania, New Zealand, and throughout the country.
And she sings the national anthem for her talent. That's very unusual. Miss Pennsylvania is Judy Fitch from Dallas, Pennsylvania, 24 years old, and a graduate of Wilkes University. And as you can see, Miss Pennsylvania gets a tremendous response every year on the Atlantic City Boardwalk.
Certainly Unfortunately, she's no stranger to the stage. She's worked as an opening act for Alan King and the Spinners. She's appeared on telethons, worked with the Winners League of Women Voters to raise voter awareness among women who are 18 to 24 years old. She's performed many times for institutionalized Americans.
Miss Rhode Island is Lisa Grace Snow from Cranston. She's 23 years old and a second-year PhD candidate in school psychology at the University of Rhode Island.
Her mom is currently attending the Episcopal Divinity School in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where she's going after her master's degree in theology. Her mom hopes to become an ordained minister and work with children and families about talents.
And she has a very heavy shoe there. It looks like it might also be a crustacean. Miss South Carolina, Dr. Carrie Lee Davis from Greenville, South Carolina, a preliminary swimsuit winner in the pageant. She's a graduate of the Medical University of South Carolina.
Already finished her internship, is waiting to begin her residency program, and you'll do that right after the pageant, unless, of course, she becomes Dr. Miss America.
Dr. Miss America.
Dr. Miss America.
Okay.
She's also the very first MD ever to compete in the pageant.
We've had medical students and law students.
Yeah, we have lawyers too. I think we have a lawyer, a woman who's a lawyer who's competing this year. This is the Dallas School District Marching Band under the direction of Todd Hunter. This is the band of the current Miss Pennsylvania, Judy Fitch. This is her first time in the parade. The Dallas School District Marching Band is quite proud of their former member, Judy Fitch, Miss Pennsylvania. Themselves. They get the flag bearers and the cheerleaders.
You know, when I was Miss New Jersey, my high school band, the Lenape High School Marching Band from Medford, New Jersey, came to the Miss America Parade and appeared in my honor, and that was very special to me.
They should have had them like in front of your car or something, so you could have had a musical accompaniment.
They were very close to me. Post 352 of the American Legion from Summers Point.
It's their first time in the parade. They're wearing brand new uniforms this year.
Yes, you made mention. This is a good time to get them.
It's a good time to break them out.
And the shark. From Cool 98.3 WKTU radio station in Ocean City, New Jersey.
We have a float, I believe, that's coming down the boardwalk with the theme, Cool Aloha, another Hawaiian tribute.
This parade is from the Columbus Day Committee of Atlantic City. Again, commemorating Columbus's discovery of America. A very popular theme this year.
It's the Sons of Italy Columbus Lodge 783 and the Sons of Italy Brigantine Lodge number 2520. Also, it's a joint effort of the Columbus Day Committee of Atlantic City and the Ducktown Revitalization Association.
From the American Business Women's Association of New Jersey, their second year in the parade, these 20 women are saluting Hawaii.
Well, when someone gets on a theme, they stay with it. I think it's great.
Got the Hawaii theme and the Columbus theme.
Did Columbus discover Hawaii? Boy, if Columbus had discovered Hawaii, imagine what the parade would look like.
That would have been a long boat trip. Everyone loves the parade, except when they cut off traffic in city streets.
Exactly.
That's why it's so nice having a parade on the boardwalk.
Doesn't affect traffic. Now this next unit is a band I'm familiar with because I've used them many times on the March of Dimes telethon. This is the Brick Township High School Marching Dragons from Brick, New Jersey.
Do you know they took first place in the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City this year? And also at the Music Fest Parade in Orlando, Florida. That's quite an accomplishment for Brick Township.
Unfortunately, they just finished playing about 20 steps before they came into range, and I don't think we're going to hear them right now. That's a shame because they're a big band and they're an excellent, excellent band.
You have to buy their album.
Really. Brick Township Dragons' greatest hits. Not available in stores.
130 members strong.
Big band. And I wouldn't be surprised if those are new uniforms because they look all, those hats look awfully shiny.
South Dakota, Miss South Dakota, Leslie Ray Saunders, 21 years old and a senior communications major at Augustana College.
Now, when she was a little girl, she used to have slumber parties for her friends every birthday, but one tradition in her slumber party was to have a Miss America pageant. They used to parade around in their long nightgowns, pretending that they were evening gowns, and the judge, her mom, was great because her mom made sure that no one ever went home from one of Leslie's birthday parties without at least once being crowned Miss America.
And here we have Miss Tennessee, Leah Houlihan from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. She is 24 years old from Middle Tennessee State University, and she is a military young woman, and she's wearing her uniform tonight. Leah was in the U.S. Army, I believe a second lieutenant. She is now serving with the National Guard in Tennessee, but does have plans of continuing a military career. She served in counterintelligence during the invasion of Panama.
Right, she was a U.S. Army intelligence, tactical intelligence, electronics warfare officer. Apparently she kept track of Iraqi spies and the activities that they were up to during Operation Desert Storm.
Truly fascinating. And now Miss Texas, Amy Lesher Parker. Amy's 22 years old, a junior at the University of North Texas in Communications and Music.
Now everybody thinks that the Miss America contestants are like naturally svelte and thin and wonderful and really don't have to work hard at it. But this is a success story because through self-discipline, behavior modification, and nutritional education, Amy lost 75 pounds over the past 4 years and kept it off, and obviously is in good enough shape to win the state crown.
Of course, you couldn't tell because she has on such a large gold cape tonight. Here we have Miss Utah, Jennifer Ward from Salt Lake City. She is 20 years old, a sophomore at the University of Utah in an honors program majoring in political science, pre-law, and music.
Pre-law sounds right because she was an assistant to the Utah Speaker of the House of Representatives. She's also apparently a phone number expert. You give her a phone number once and she'll memorize it.
Miss Vermont is Nicole Capri Gentry from Middlebury, Vermont. She is 23 years old, a a graduate of the University of Vermont in political science and music history.
Has lived and studied voice in Strasbourg, France, and in Florence, Italy. While she was in Europe, she did an independent study program on Italian operas and attended some of the world's most prestigious opera houses. Her talents of jazz vocal interpretation have hit me with a hot note.
The City of Atlantic City float, designed under the watchful eye of Public Relations Coordinator Elaine Frayne, and they are saluting Camp Boardwalk. As you know, Atlantic City played its part in World War II as a site for the military getting ready to go to war.
One of the most impressive pictures of that era is a picture that was taken from the top of the convention hall looking down on the inside. There were 25,000 Army recruits doing exercises in there. The Army came and literally took over every single hotel in town, and this was training.
And of course, Miss Atlantic City, Sherilyn Dooley, is featured on the float tonight, along with Lucille Russo's performers. And I'm sure you know that very, very well. Lucille Russo's a bit of Atlantic City history in herself.
Absolutely. Lucille, the director of entertainment for the city of Atlantic City, has been around for a long time, and has coordinated children's talent in Wonderland Telephone for years.
Looks like another string band.
No less entertaining.
And from WFPG FM Light 96.9 radio station in Atlantic City, with their mascots and radio personalities. What is that mascot?
That's a, I don't know, is that a Light 96.9?
Some kind of a cat, I think, with pink stripes. Now, hopefully, this float is from the shops on Ocean 1.
If it's not, we'll correct ourselves very quickly.
Yes, it must be. I recognize that shopping bag anywhere. Yes, one of my hobbies is mall shopping as well. And there we have a 10-foot high shopping bag. And all the shops on Ocean 1 are wonderful for shopping.
Ocean 1, for those of you who are not familiar with Atlantic City, used to be the $1 Million Pier. And it was pretty much leveled and rebuilt in the form of an ocean liner that goes nowhere.
Unless you're interested in shopping.
Unless you're interested in shopping, in which case it'll take you around the world.
We have all their mascots on board tonight. That's really something. And who is this gentleman? Is this another mascot? Looks sort of like Super Mario, but I don't think that's him.
It does kind of look like Super Mario from the Nintendo thing. Regardless, he is preceding the Contestant High School Pioneer Marching Band.
And he is not a contestant.
Now here is a rather large musical aggregation. Notice I didn't say aggravation. It's under the direction of William Schwenk. 140 members in this band. They're from Westchester, Pennsylvania, near Valley Forge Park. Uniforms they're wearing are garnet and gray with white and black as accent colors. It would take too long to list the honors they've won over the years. Suffice to say they have a second place in the Miss America Parade in 1991, fourth place in the parade in 1990, and fifth place in 1989. So I'm sure they're out for the number one trophy tonight.
Somebody finally played for us, Waylon.
Played very well, too.
The Ocean City Home Savings and Loan Association from Ocean City, always a strong supporter of our pageant parade. Let's get physical is their theme. I guess because you want to be fiscally sound and physically fit with the Ocean City Home Savings and Loan Association. They look like chickens.
Oh, okay, that's chicken price. That's fat because the next float is the one from Ocean City Savings and Loans. This is a
Family Chicken Plus.
A restaurant called Family Chicken Plus in Ocean City.
Well, eating chicken can be very healthy.
That's physically correct, right? Physically correct, nutritionally correct. Anyway, here's the one from Ocean City Savings and Loan, I hope.
Actually, this is the Joyce Bay Music and Custom Gown Studio from Woodbury Heights, New Jersey.
Very nice too. That's what happens when it gets dark and they change you up. And right now we're coming into our final block of contestants. This is Laura Lynn Flatham from Carlton, Virginia. She's Miss Virginia.
24 years old, and she has been accepted to the graduate school at Duke University. She graduated from the College of William and Mary. And Miss Virginia played the piano in the talent competition.
She's the creator and performer of a show called By George It's Gershwin. She does recitals in elderly care centers. Claims to have an 87-year-old roommate. She was actively involved in the campaign for Virginia Governor George Allen.
Then we have Miss Washington, Colleen Ann Carney of Bellevue, Washington, 26 years old, a third-year law student and a first-year MBA candidate at the University of Washington Law School and Graduate School of Business.
She also helped recruit several All-American football players for the University of Washington, including her brothers, who were standouts on the team. Father was a fighter pilot in the U.S. Air Force, and her mother, believe it or not, was one of two stewardesses who flew on Air Force One with President Kennedy. Actually, before that, she flew with candidate John F. Kennedy when he was seeking Democratic nomination for president back in 1959.
Miss West Virginia is Kimberly Parrish of Parkersburg, West Virginia, 22 years old, and a junior theater major at West Virginia University.
Longevity definitely runs in Kimberly's family. Her grandfather just celebrated his 101st birthday and proudly admits that he's never missed the opportunity to vote in an election since the 19-teens.
And she was a ballet dancer in the competition. We have Miss Wisconsin now, Stephanie Ann Platt, 25 years old from Beloit, Wisconsin, and she attends Moray House College in Edinburgh, Scotland, and has a BA from Beloit College.
Her brother Fred's a professional comedian and just performed 2 benefit shows for the homeless with Jay Leno in Chicago. Stephanie also enjoys walking on the bottom of oceans and swimming pools.
She played the cornet for her talent, something a little bit different. Here's Miss Wyoming, Stacy Dawn Senadise.
Now this is another story of someone using strategy to kind of impel her this year. Her brother, Stephen, died 5 days before she came to Atlantic City involved in an automobile accident, and she's dedicating her performance in the pageant to her brother Stephen.
And she is from Cheyenne, Wyoming, 21 years old.
She said her brother was her biggest supporter and had to leave the room when she was crowned Miss Wyoming because he didn't want her to see her cry.
That's our last contestant, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, we just...
You don't get any states after Wyoming.
That's it. Now it's I don't want to say mop-up time, but it's mop-up time now.
And we are being mopped up right now by the 167th Tactical Airlift Group, the Security Police Color Guard from Martinsburg, West Virginia. And they are very happy to be an important part of the Miss West Virginia pageant, joining us here in Atlantic City tonight. Followed closely by the Penridge High School Band from Percy, Pennsylvania.
This was a quick parade. I remember there were years when the parade lasted a lot longer, and it doesn't seem that there were any more units in it. It's just that this parade stepped off right at 6 o'clock at the time it was supposed to.
Well, I think we really have to also credit the chairman, Jim Lees, D. William Subin, David Spanberg, Ambrose O'Donnell, Kevin O'Donnell, Joe Girolamo, Frank Glazer, Leo Yeager III, and most of all, Sally Zipuzito, the administrator of the pageant parade.
Sally's going to tell us all this great information as we listen to the Penridge High School marching band. Percy, Pennsylvania, it's the Penridge High School marching band, 130 members strong, and this was their second year in the Miss America Pageant Parade.
You know, so many people work hard all year long to make the Miss America pageant possible, and our parade committee has certainly outdone themselves this year.
Yeah, people tend to think that the Miss America pageant gets cranked up maybe like the beginning of July, and that's not true. It's a 12-month, 365-day-a-year operation.
And many of the people involved in the pageant, of course, are volunteers. In fact, the vast majority are volunteers.
Here comes the Ocean City Savings and Loan Association. Yeah.
We found them. They're fiscally sound and physically fit with Ocean City Home Savings and Loan.
They're slightly out of order, that's all.
Followed by Georgianne's, Delaware Valley Finishing and Modeling School. Where it has won prizes in the past in the Miss America Parade. Georgianne School of Modeling has participated in the pageant parade for many years.
A lot of people don't realize that there are more than just band awards given out during the parade. The floats are also judged.
We talk about the pageant once again. It's the largest scholarship foundation in the entire world for women. It's run by volunteers across this country in all 50 states. And it's our hometown project in a way. Once a year, everyone in Atlantic City gets behind it. All the hostesses are from the area. They all volunteer
It's like a reunion. Speaking of reunions, we have, before we leave the year, I can't let it go by without mentioning the fact that it's kind of like a reunion for you and me, too. Because viewers of CTN might remember that Lynn and I hosted a show on CTN back in 1984-85 at that night.
Very few viewers.
Very few viewers. Hey, we won an award for that show.
And that was
a couple of awards for that show.
That was the Boss 97 radio station from Vineland, New Jersey.
They were the Regis and Kathy Lee of Atlantic City before Regis even knew of anyone named Kathy.
This has certainly been an exciting night. All the kids are having so much fun, the crowds are strong, the weather's held up beautifully, and the parade has moved along beautifully. I think all the contestants have really enjoyed themselves.
Well, I hope they have. I know I sure have. This is, I don't know what that is.
Girl Scouts.
We're Girl Scouts.
WAYV 95.1.
Is this the Casino Association?
Yes, they are also in a different place.
And they were supposed to be a little bit earlier.
This is the Casino Association of New Jersey under the watchful eye of Connie Keene, Director of Community Relations for the association. And we're also going with the Camp Boardwalk theme, World War II era, with live entertainment.
band. We're sneaking on this. What do we have? The South Philadelphia String Band doing the traditional mummer's strut. And we'll be back to wrap up the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade with some final thoughts right after this.
The people who work to bring the press every day know why it's smart to read the press, and they'll tell you why.
For all of us smart shoppers, the press is our #1 source for those money-saving coupons and sale ads.
And when you read the press every day, you'll not only learn a lot, it's also a lot of fun.
It's just plain smart to read the most trusted source of information in South Jersey.
To subscribe for everyday home delivery, call the press at 272-1010. It's a smart move.
My resorts is really jumping, so I'm going undercover to see if the guests are as excited as I am. Now, may I ask you what you think about resorts?
Wow, there's so much to do here, Merv. I don't know where to start.
Excuse me.
Stop now, Merv. We have dinner, then there's a show.
I'd like to get your honest opinion of resorts.
My honest opinion? Merv, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Familia, darling. Are you new here?
Well, somewhere out there, Lynn, we just saw the next Miss America, only we don't know who it is.
Absolutely. I'm sure everyone at home has made their selection, but we'll find out.
Do you have a favorite tonight, or you're not going to tell us?
I absolutely have 2 or 3 favorites, but I'm not going to tell you.
Well, all right. We'll keep it a secret until next year, okay? Right now, this brings us to an end of the 1992 Miss America Pageant Parade. The pageant's coming up later on tonight, 10 o'clock on NBC. For now, and our producer, Bob Lund, everyone at Merv Griffin's Resorts in the Press of Atlantic City, and for Lynn Widener, I'm David Spatz. We hope you picked a winner. We'll see you again next year.
Good night.